Hello everyone, welcome to SHS Tech Solutions. From today onwards, we are going to explore the world of backend development. Okay, today in this tutorial, we will understand the basics of backend development and how it works behind the every web application. Okay, I have divided this topic into mainly 11 points. Mainly these 11 points, which will help you build a strong foundation in the backend technologies. Backend development refers to the server-side part of a web application. I will show. This is the three-tier architecture of the web application. First one is the front end, and next second one is the server, and third one is the database. Okay, for the front end development, we are using the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. Okay, and next one server-side part. In the server-side part, we are write the business logic. Okay, we are write the business logic functionality, etc. Okay, and next one. And next, in the server side, data processing, business logic, database operations, and communication between the server and the user interface. This server is a communication between the user and the interface. Okay. And next one, start with a real world example. Okay. I will start with a real world example like, okay, let us take it as a Amazon. Okay. Whenever we open an application like Amazon, Instagram, or banking application, we see the images, we see the number of images, buttons, and pages. This is called as a front end. This is called as a front end. In the back end, what happens behind the screen? In the back end, what happens behind the screen? What is our data stored? Okay, where is our data stored? How does login works? How does payment processing happen? Okay, all these things are connect to the all these things are come to the backend development. Okay, all these activities are handled by the backend. All these activities are handled by the backend. Okay, so this is the first one. This is the introduction of the web development, backend development. And next one, what is the backend development? Okay, what is the backend development? Backend development is the process of creating and managing the server-side part of the web application. What do you mean by backend? Backend is the process of creating and managing the server-side part of a web application. Okay, backend development handles the business logic, database operations, user authentication, security, data processing, and the communication between the front end and database. Okay, simple definition of the backend development is front end is what the user sees. Okay, so front end means ఏంటంటే యూజర్ ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ లో మనకి ఏదైతే డిస్ప్లే అవుతుందో సో దీని అంతా కూడా ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ అంటాము. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్ యూజర్స్ డోంట్ సీ బట్ మేక్స్ ద అప్లికేషన్ వర్క్స్. ఓకే, సో యూజర్ ఏదైతే చూడలేదు, సపోజ్ వీఆర్ ట్రై టు బై ఏ ఏసీ ఎయిర్ కండిషనర్. ఓకే, అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద బిహైండ్. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ నేను క్లిక్ చేయగానే ఏమవుతుంది, వేరే నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకొక పేజ్ అనేది ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా, సో ఈ పేజ్ ఎలా ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది ఏంటనేది ఇవన్నీ కూడా యూజర్ కి తెలియదు అనమాట. సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ బ్యాక్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ బ్యాక్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్. ఓకే, వాట్ ద బిహైండ్ ఇన్ ద వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ and how it works behind the every application. Okay, and next one. Suppose we are trying to log in this website. We are trying to log in this website. Front end, in the front end, you enter a username and password and click the login button. Okay, in the front end, you are enter a username and password, click the login button. Okay, what is the behind? What is the behind this? Okay, receive the username and password. Backend receive the username and password. Check the database. Okay, this username and password are correct or not, and verify the user. Create the session and send the response. Okay, these topics are comes under the backend development. Okay, and next one, third one, front end versus backend. Front end versus backend. Okay, so in the front end, I will show you example. Okay, suppose we are going to a restaurant. Okay, first one, what we do in the restaurant? You look at the menu. Okay, menu is a API. It tells the what the things are available on the restaurant. You look at the menu. Okay, menu is called as an API. It tells the what the list of items are available in the restaurant. And next one, you place an order. Okay, so you place an order means you will give the order to the waiter. Okay, so this is called as a API request. And next the waiter goes to the waiter takes your request to the kitchen. Okay, this is called HTTP request. Okay, and next one, the kitchen process it cooks it and send the back. Okay, so this is the step 4. And next one, you receive the finished dish and you enjoy it. Okay, so this one is the fifth one. Okay, here front end is the waiter. Here front end is the waiter. Okay, waiter shows the menu card. Okay, and next one, interact with the customer. Here front end is the waiter. The waiter takes the customer order and shows the menu, interact with the customer. Backend is kitchen. Here backend is the kitchen. Process the order, prepare the food, and manage the resources. And next one, database. Database is the storage room. Okay, in the storage room, stores the ingredients and maintain the records. Okay, this one is the process. User or client, Chrome. We are using the web browser to pass a request. Okay, this is called a front end and backend. And next one is the backend is connected to the database. Backend server is connected to the database. Okay, and next one. Why do we need backend? So why do we need backend? Okay, without backend, data cannot be stored permanently. Without backend, data cannot be permanently stored. Users cannot the login. Okay, users cannot the login. Application cannot communicate. Applications cannot communicate between each other. And next one, security is difficult. So security is difficult. Dynamic content is impossible. Only static websites. Without backend, only we can develop the static websites. We cannot develop the dynamic websites. Example, uh, let us take a Amazon website. Here, without backend, you can only view the products. Without backend, you can only view the products. With the backend, you can register. You can register in this website, and next one log in these websites and add to cart and make the payment and take the order. Okay, with the backend, what we can do with the backend, you can register. We can register this application, and next one you can log in to the application, and next one add to cart the products, and next one make the payment for products buying, and next one take the order. Okay, okay, here I am explain the process. User open the web browser or mobile app, where pass the HTTP request, where pass the request, and backend server is receive the request, and it will connect to the database. Database is check and give the response to the user. Database is check and give the response to the user. This is the process of backend works. Okay, this is the process of backend works. Suppose okay, this is the backend works. And next one, suppose here user search for a mobile mobile phone under 20. Okay, mobile phone under 20,000. Okay, so user send the request. Here we are pass the request. User send the User send the request. Okay, server receive the request. We as user send the request, server receive the request, back and check the database. Suppose ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం చేసాము ఒక రిక్వెస్ట్ అనేది పాస్ చేసాము. మొబైల్ ఫోన్ అండర్ 20,000 అనే రిక్వెస్ట్ ని మనం పాస్ చేసాము. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఏమవుతుంది, సర్వర్ రిసీవ్ ద రిక్వెస్ట్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ సర్వర్ పాస్ దిస్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఉంటు ద డేటాబేస్. సో డేటాబేస్ కి పాస్ చేస్తుంది. సో నెక్స్ట్ వన్ డేటాబేస్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, 20,000 బిలో ఏదైతే మొబైల్స్ ఉన్నాయో వాటన్నింటినీ కూడా చెక్ చేసుకుని 20,000 బిలో ఉన్న మొబైల్స్ అన్నింటినీ కూడా మనకి రిటర్న్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో డేటాబేస్ రిటర్న్ ద ప్రొడక్ట్స్, సర్వర్ సెండ్ ద రెస్పాన్స్. సో డేటాబేస్ ఎవరికి సెండ్ చేస్తుంది, డేటాబేస్ సర్వర్ కి సెండ్ చేస్తుంది, సర్వర్ ఏమో మనకి యూజర్ కి డిస్ప్లే చేస్తుంది అనమాట. యూజర్ సీ ద రిజల్ట్స్. ఓకే, and next one, sixth one, main components of the backend development. Main components of the backend development is the first one is the server. Server is a computer that receive and that receive request and send response. Okay, here server is a computer that receive the request and send the response. Okay, so server receive the request and send the responses. Example, when you open a website. Example, when you open a website, give me the home page request. Give me the home page. Home page means we are click the mobiles. Okay, it will display the mobiles web page. Okay, request give me the home page, and here is the home page like mobiles page. Okay, this is the mobile page. Suppose we are click on mobiles, it will display the mobiles page. Okay, and next one, second one, programming languages. Which programming languages are used for the backend development? For the backend development, we are use the JavaScript and Node.js for the development of web applications and real-time applications. And next one, Python. Python frameworks like Django or Flask. This can be used to develop a web applications and data science applications also. And next one is the Java. Java framework is a Spring Boot. Java and Spring Boot framework used for the enterprise applications. Java and Spring Boot framework can be used to develop a enterprise applications. And next one, C Hash. C Hash ASP.NET. These technologies can be used to develop a web applications. And next, third one, database. First one is the server, and third one is the programming languages, and third one is the DB, database. Okay, database. What is the use of database? Database can be used to store the application data. Application data. Okay, for the relational databases, for the relational DBMS, we are using the MySQL. Okay, and next one, NoSQL and MongoDB. Okay, and NoSQL and MongoDB. Okay, and next one, fourth one, API. Fourth one, API. API means application programming interface. API means application programming interface. Okay, this API is a communication bridge between the front and back end. API is a communication bridge between the API and front end and back end. Okay, and next one, backend technology stack. Okay, backend technology stack. Okay, for the front end development, we are using the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and React, Node, Angular. Okay, and for the APIs, backend development, we are using the Node.js, Python, Java. For the database, MySQL, MongoDB, and Serverfly. Okay, and real-time examples like YouTube, Instagram, Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Okay, suppose we are opening YouTube. Okay, what is the front end in the YouTube? Okay, in the YouTube, video screens, thumbnails, like button, comments. These are the front end. And next one, what is the back end? User authentication. Okay, compulsory we are logging to the YouTube. Okay, so this is the called user authentication. And next one, video processing, user authentication, video processing, recommendations, and notifications. Okay, and next one, database. Database stores the user details, video information, and comments. Okay, and next one, ninth one, skills required for the backend development. Skills required for the backend developer. A backend developer should know the programming technologies like JavaScript, Python, or Java. Okay, database like RDBMS, RDBMS and RDBMS, MySQL and MongoDB. Okay, and next one, networking technologies like HTTP and REST API. Okay, for the security, authentication and authorization, and the tools like Git, Postman, or Docker. Okay, these technologies are compulsory in the backend developer. And next one, backend developer workflow. Okay, what is the backend development workflow? Firstly need the backend developer requirements. Okay, next one, design the application programming interface, design APIs. And next one, write the code. And next one, connect to the database. And next one, test the APIs. And next one, deploy the application. This is the workflow of the backend development. And next one, popular backend frameworks. Okay, these are the languages and these are the frameworks of that particular languages. Okay, suppose we are taking as a JavaScript. For the JavaScript frameworks are Express, Angular, and React. And next one, Python. Python frameworks like Django, Flask. Okay, next third one, Java, Spring Boot. Okay, fourth one CSS. CSS framework is the ASP.NET. And next one PHP. PHP framework is a Laravel. Okay. Finally, backend development is the backbone of the modern web applications. Okay, backend development is the backbone of the modern web application. It manages the data. It manages data, security, logic, and communication. Okay, so it's all about the backend development. I hope you all are understand what is the backend development. If you have any doubts or comments, please below the video. Okay. Thank you.